In recent years, tensions between these two neighboring countries have reached a boiling point, leading to military clashes, territorial disputes, and international condemnation. In this video, we will explore the current state of the conflict, analyze the military capabilities of both sides, and predict the possible scenarios that may unfold in the coming months. So, let's get started. To begin with, the Ukraine-Russia war is a complex geopolitical issue that dates back to the early 2010s when Ukraine was seeking closer ties with the European Union and NATO. This move was viewed as a threat to Russia's influence in the region, and in 2014, Russia annexed Crimea from Ukraine and supported pro-Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine. Since then, the conflict has escalated, with both sides accusing each other of aggression, human rights violations, and war crimes. As of 2023, the situation on the ground remains tense, with sporadic fighting and ceasefire violations reported on a daily basis. The front lines have mostly stabilized, with the separatist-controlled areas of Donetsk and Luhansk forming a de facto state called the Donetsk People's Republic and Luhansk People's Republic. Meanwhile, Ukraine has strengthened its military capabilities by investing in modern weapons, training, and reforms, while also seeking support from the international community. Russia, on the other hand, has maintained its military presence in Crimea and the separatist-held territories, deploying thousands of troops, tanks, and artillery pieces. It has also conducted large-scale military exercises near the Ukrainian border, which have raised concerns among Ukraine and its allies. Additionally, Russia has employed hybrid tactics, such as cyberattacks, propaganda, and economic pressure, to undermine Ukraine's stability and sovereignty. Now, let's turn our attention to the military capabilities of both sides and their strengths and weaknesses. Ukraine has a relatively large and well-trained army, consisting of about 250,000 active personnel and over 1 million reserves. It has also modernized its equipment, including buying Javelin anti-tank missiles from the United States. However, Ukraine still lacks some critical capabilities, such as air defense systems, heavy artillery, and long-range missiles. Russia, on the other hand, has a much larger and more experienced military, with over 1 million active personnel and 2 million reserves. It also has a vast arsenal of weapons, including nuclear weapons, and advanced technologies, such as hypersonic missiles and stealth fighters. However, Russia's military is plagued by corruption, inefficiency, and outdated structures, which may hinder its ability to fight a prolonged war. Moreover, Russia's economy is heavily dependent on oil and gas exports, which have been affected by international sanctions and the shift towards renewable energy sources. So, given these factors, what are the possible outcomes of the Ukraine-Russia war in 2023? There are several scenarios to consider. 1. Status quo. The conflict continues with low-intensity clashes, occasional ceasefire agreements, and diplomatic talks. 1. This scenario is the most likely in the short term, as neither side wants to escalate the conflict further, but it also means that the suffering of civilians and soldiers will continue. 2. Ukrainian victory. Ukraine successfully defends its territorial integrity and restores control over the separatist-held areas, with the support of its allies. 2. This scenario is possible but requires a significant military and political effort from Ukraine and its partners. 3. Russian victory. Russia manages to annex more Ukrainian territory or forces Ukraine to accept Russian terms, with the support of its military and hybrid tactics. 3. This scenario is less likely, as it would trigger a severe international backlash and possibly lead to a wider conflict. 4. External intervention. Another possible scenario is that a third party, such as the United Nations, NATO, or the United States, intervenes in the conflict to broker a peaceful solution or provide military assistance to Ukraine. 4. However, this scenario is also unlikely, as it would risk direct confrontation with Russia and possibly lead to a global conflict. 5. Humanitarian crisis. The ongoing conflict has already caused a severe humanitarian crisis, with over 13,000 people killed, 30,000 injured, and 1.5 million displaced. 5. If the conflict escalates further, the number of casualties and refugees may increase significantly, creating a significant burden on Ukraine and its neighbors. 6. Economic consequences. the Ukraine-Russia war has also had significant economic consequences for both sides, with Ukraine losing access to its coal and steel industries in the separatist-held areas and Russia facing international sanctions and reduced trade. 6. If the conflict continues, the economic damage may be prolonged, affecting the livelihoods of millions of people. 7. Diplomatic efforts. Despite the challenges, there have been some diplomatic efforts to resolve the conflict peacefully. 7. For example, the Normandy format talks, involving Ukraine, Russia, Germany, and France, have aimed to find a political solution to the conflict, but progress has been slow. 7. The United States and other Western countries have also imposed sanctions on Russia, hoping to pressure it to withdraw its troops in support for the separatists. Finally, the Ukraine-Russia war is a complex and long-standing conflict that poses significant challenges to the security and stability of the region and the world. While it is impossible to predict the exact outcome of the conflict in 2023, it is essential to continue diplomatic efforts, support Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and prevent further escalation of violence and suffering. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope it has provided you with valuable insights into this crucial issue.